If you're considering buying land in East Tennessee, then you're in the right place. As a realtor that specializes in listing land in the Lakeway area, I've seen firsthand the pitfalls that many buyers encounter when purchasing land in our area. So let's look and explore some of these challenges. Number one is going to be zoning and restrictions. So a lot of times we will have buyers that call in and they want unrestricted property. They want unrestricted property. My favorite is when they want an unrestricted lake lot. They just need about a half acre and they've got a budget of $25,000. That's a unicorn. Unrestricted lake lots are seriously probably the most rare thing that we have. They don't come up very often. And when they do come up, they usually come up with a really big price tag. So keep that in mind. But you need to look, a piece of land can be unrestricted as far as there are no restrictions written into the warranty deed, but the county could have zoning that prohibits you from doing certain things on that property. So when you call up and the agent tells you a piece of land is unrestricted, then yeah, we have researched that. We know that there are no restrictions in the deed, but you need to call the county that property's in and check the zoning. The reason I say that is because a lot of people have this ideal of, well, we want to live in our camper while we're building our house, or we just want a place to come down on the weekends, kind of close to the lake, that we can just stay in our camper. And over the past few years, several counties in our area have restricted against someone living in a camper on their own property. So make sure that you talk to your realtor about those types of things. If you plan on living in a camper, you definitely need to check with the county zoning and make sure that that's still going to be allowed. You also need to check on building codes and is there a minimum square footage. A couple of years ago, I had 2 lots that were over in the Bainbury area. And I had pulled the restrictions for those lots and it gave me the minimum square footage. I had those lots sold and they ended up having to cancel right before closing because the city of Bainbury had put their own minimum square footage requirements into play, and they were going to be a higher square footage than what my buyer originally anticipated. So that was a lesson learned. Again, that's why you need to check with the local municipalities to find out if they have minimum square footage restrictions in place that may override what a particular subdivision or community has already. Number 2, the thing you need to look for are undiscovered issues. Well, if they're undiscovered, how am I supposed to find out about them? But you can always walk the property. If someone's selling 70 acres of land, they may not know that there's a sinkhole in the back 10, 20 acres of that property. So make sure that you're walking the property, you're familiarizing yourself with it. You're able to look for, is there water pooling at a certain place? Is there a drainage issue? Is the ground really soft in this particular spot compared to the rest? Look for encroachments while you're walking the property. If there's not a fence, sometimes you may see a building that's like right on that property line. So it's crucial that as a buyer, you're doing your due diligence. You're coming out, you're looking at the property, you're checking these things out yourself, and you're comfortable with them. Part of your due diligence would be looking at the title search and reading the meets and bounds description and seeing, do you want a survey? Do you want someone to actually come out and stake off the property that you're buying? If so, you need to be prepared for that expense. The third thing is financial considerations. A lot of people don't understand that buying land is totally different than buying a house. Your rate's going to be higher because the lender's taking a much bigger risk by loaning you money on a piece of land than they are a house. Because your house is a place that you're actually going to lay your head at night and go to sleep. It's where your family is. And a piece of land is just a vacant piece of land. So when times get tough, that's going to be the first thing you quit paying. So interest rates are going to be higher. You need to understand that. You need to understand there's no first-time home buyer programs when it comes to buying land. There's no low down payment programs when it comes to buying land. Typically, lenders think that if you're purchasing land that you're going to build on or whatever, that you're a little more savvy buyer. You're probably not a first-time buyer. So if you're looking to purchase a manufactured home, and in conjunction with that, you need to find a piece of land, then you need to talk to the mobile home dealer about the type of financing that you're going to be doing. A lot of times, what they will do is just work the purchase of that land into your home price. But you need to talk with that dealer first and make sure that you know what your budget will be for land. Do they have money in the budget for connecting to the utilities or digging a septic or whatever might need to be done? So talk to your realtor about buying land and what the financing options are and who the lenders would be that would best suit if you're trying to buy land or build on land. Number 4 would be infrastructure and accessibility. Another pitfall is it's beautiful around here, but sometimes these places that I show are on a goat path. I can't tell you how many times I've been on a 1-lane road, and if you meet a car, somebody's got to give. So you need to think about that. There's going to be some beautiful views on some of these properties, but how comfortable are you going to be having building trucks come up to your home site on these little roads? How far away from grocery stores or restaurants or pharmacies or doctors, how far away is that property from those things? Because at first 30 minutes may not seem like a lot, but when you're having to do it on a regular basis, 30 minutes can get kind of redundant and you're over it pretty quickly. So think about those types of things. Find out what utilities are available. Is there electric at the road to connect to? Is there public water at the road, or are you going to be forced to drill for a well? Most of the properties around here, you are going to have a septic unless you are inside the city limits of a very few places. So just make sure that what you're looking to buy kind of aligns with your goals for working, commuting, getting out and enjoying life, so that you're not spending half your day coming down the side of a mountain just to go get on the lake or whatever. But in spite of all these things, buying land in East Tennessee can be an incredibly rewarding experience because we have so many things for people to do. It's a beautiful place with 4 seasons. We've got hobby farmers. We've got people who just love being on the lake. We've got people moving here as a peaceful retreat to get out of the big city. So with the right guidance, you can find a piece of land that matches your vision and fits your budget. If you're thinking of purchasing a home or land in East Tennessee, be sure to follow me for more content.